Paranormal Andy and Phantom Dark Dave. The Screaming Skull Podcast.
What's up, everybody? You're listening to a brand new episode of the Screaming Skull Podcast. We are your host. I'm Phantom Dark Dave.
And I'm Abnormal Andy.
And we're back in the saddle again, and this time we're doing some sci-fi horror. Andy, I love this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I love just talking about the movie that we're talking about and also just sci-fi horror. I just love that mixture. I feel like it's like perfect, you know? Because usually there's like a monster in their summer when there's sci-fi horror, and you know that I'm a sucker for monster movies.
That's right.
So, yeah, bring it on. I mean, but yeah, today we are talking about specific sci-fi horror. That is The Faculty.
No more pencils, no more books, no more teachers' dirty looks.
The students at Harrington High have always suspected their teachers were from another planet.
Is this gonna be on the test?
This is the test.
This time, they're right. Now, these 6 students won't just question authority. They'll have to destroy it. Critics are calling it hip and scary. A thrilling ride from beginning to end. The Faculty.
Please report to the principal's office.
1998. Andy, this is a movie that, like, is right in our teenage years, man. Like, I remember when this came out on VHS. Honest to truth, you know when people say, like, oh, I've seen this movie like 20 times. Like, I think I really have seen this movie like 20 times. Seriously.
Oh, really? So this will probably be the third time I've seen it for the podcast.
Oh, that may be one of our biggest like separations that we've had. This is a movie that when I learned how to hook up 2 VCRs together and rent one and record it onto a blank tape on the other, and I found out that you could fit up to 3 movies on one VHS. I literally had the 1999 Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie, Varsity Blues, and The Faculty all in one tape. And I remember one time we went to visit some family up in Seattle, and that's the only tape I brought with me. So I watched the 3 movies every single day for 2 weeks.
Awesome, man. I've never seen Varsity Blues.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
It's not
You're
really
un-American, but that's fine.
Yeah. I'm a dirty commie. No.
Oh, geez. But, dude, okay, so sci-fi horror. We both love monster movies. We both love subgenres. You put them together. But the thing that really tops this movie off is you got Robert Rodriguez directing, Kevin Williamson, who wrote the screenplay, and this thing is littered with people who were super famous, especially in the 80s and 90s. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, this is a stacked cast, like you said, and surprisingly strong practical creature effects, too. I know in this time, like in the late 90s, people started messing around with CGI. And I think there was some in this movie, but
Oh, absolutely.
but for the most part, I think a lot of the creature effects, I mean, I know there was some practical creature effects, which was really cool. And I kind of look at this movie as like, happens, the Breakfast Club collides with Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
100%. I back that up to a T, man. That's great. And, you got Elijah Wood, Jordana Brewster, Clea Duvall, Josh Hartnett early in his career, Laura Harris, Sean Hatasi. You got Usher in here, Robert Patrick, Selma Hayek. I mean, the list goes on and on. Jon Stewart. Like, if you could think of them, they're probably in this movie.
Yeah, I guess, talking about the cast, I mean, you got, Elijah Wood, of course. He's kind of like our main guy, right? He's kind of like, I feel like he's kind of like our main, I don't know, hero or a kid or teen, whatever.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. And the thing with him, too, is like this is just a year or two shy of Lord of the Rings, which he had been
Okay.
acting forever, right? He was like a child actor. And I remember
Yeah.
seeing him and being very well of who he was. But I remember like going back and watching this movie, especially after like knowing Elijah Wood so well, to know like I would say that even though he was popular, Lord of the Rings was like his big breakthrough. So to be able to say that this came before that really like puts it in a time capsule.
Yeah, I mean, he went on to do stuff like Maniac, the Maniac
Oh,
remake, and
of course,
also,
he's a big horror fan.
yeah, Toxic Avenger, the remake of that. So
Have you seen that yet?
I still have not seen that, man.
I
I gotta,
haven't either. It hasn't popped up on any of my streaming services.
yeah.
It's like I forget that they did it, but if it popped up, I'd check it out.
Oh yeah, I
Although
want
we
to see
we
it.
know it's not going to hold a candle to the original. I mean, come
Oh,
on.
for sure, yeah.
But there's some good people, just like this movie. There's good people in it, but dude, I mean, who doesn't love Robert Patrick as Coach Willis in this movie? We
Oh
got
yeah.
Mr. T-1000 himself.
Yeah, such he has this presence, man. It's just like physically menacing. As you know, as we see in the movie, he's kind of like the teacher that's kind of like spearheading the thing that's going on, and so that makes it even more scary, I think, with just having him being like the taking the lead on things, and just he plays a great villain, you know, and so especially like gym coaches. I don't know about you, Dave, but I had some pretty horrifying gym coaches, some guys that just would bust my balls, and so this kind of takes me back to those days, and so it's really scary for me having somebody like that, and you know, and especially if it's the T-1000, you know,
Hey, as long as you didn't have a gym coach that was like Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2.
well, yeah, I never got spanked by a coach, yeah.
There, yeah, I was gonna say it makes you run laps while wearing leather, you know. But no, he is a physical presence. I mean, even at this time period, he had just come off the heels of doing the Terminator 2 early in the 90s, but then he was in From Dusk Till Dawn Part 2. I know at some point he joins the X-Files, so he was
Oh
like a
yeah,
big name, and he was in Fire in the Sky, which I love. And
oh
yes,
yeah.
gym coaches can have a very physical and demanding presence. I played football, so I dealt with a different kind of coach, but I don't take away fear from my coaches. It's more of comedy because one of the funniest things I ever heard, I accuse Julia doing this all the time. She's going to laugh that I said this, but one day I heard my coach yell at us, "Hey, quit playing grab tail," and I still say that to this day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, quit
My
playing grab
coach,
tail. Get over here.
my coach was a grab ass.
Oh, yours is a little more vulgar, but that's all right. But Andy, I know like you've only seen this movie a few times, and it kind of blows my mind because I know you as that you know you love the whole parasite invading the host type sci-fi horror. So what kept this one at bay for you for so long? Like, why haven't you seen it more?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking back to the first time I saw it. Of course, I saw it in the theater when it first came out.
Son of a bitch, you see everything in theater. I'll be happy to do a movie one day where you're like, I missed this one.
I mean, I was like, what? This came out in '98, so I was like 20. So yeah, I was able to go see it. But yeah, I don't know. Like this one, I think I was kind of tired, you know, because this came out kind of like in the post Scream teen horror boom, you know, and
Oh yeah, this was like
um,
right on the heels of Scream 2, if I'm not mistaken. That was like
yeah, and I
97.
think, and also like I think there was a lot of the movies in the late '90s kind of had this stylized camera work or these like graphics, and this one started off. I think that this one kind of when I first saw it, it kind of turned me off a little bit. Whenever they would do the freeze frame and they would have the person's name,
Are
and I
you
was like,
serious? That's like my favorite thing in the world.
no, it's cool now that I watch it. Now I'm like, okay, that's cool. I like it. And knowing it's
Andy's
Rob,
like, it's taking me out of the experience.
well, like knowing that it's Robert Rodriguez too, right? I mean,
Yes,
he
from Dusk Till Dawn.
from Dust Till Dawn, and he's just known for that kind of camera work and kind of that, I don't know, not Pulp Fiction, but you know, just kind of like I don't know, he has a kind of a certain style to it,
Oh, sure.
and
You see a little bit of his work in like Sin City and things like that,
yeah, very fast paced. Um,
which I might even be wrong about that. I know that was Frank Miller and Tarantino did a little bit. Rodriguez might have had something to do with Sin City, but now I'm drawing a blank on it.
but this almost has like a comic book energy to it, you know?
Oh, for sure, man. It's definitely that kind of style. And I think that's what helps the movie so much, too, because a lot of people would see this more as, especially by description, like, oh, that sounds like a B movie. But this is very much an A-list movie.
All these like familiar faces, you know, you have Josh Hartnett, we see in H2O, Halloween H2O, and also, like you said, Jordana Brewster, she would go on to do the Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Fast and Furious.
the Fast and the Furious, and even Clea Duvall. She kind of had a cult following. She was in The
She's all
Grudge too,
that.
right? Yeah.
I remember She's All That, but She always had that goth look, though. I remember that.
Yeah, and then Famke Janssen, yeah, she went on to do
Yes.
she was on House of Haunted Hill, but then she went on to do like X-Men, and she
Yep.
didn't
She
know
was
she.
in Goldeneye, I think, too. The
Oh
first.
yeah, she was the bad.
Yeah.
She was one of the yeah. I always thought she was really cool, but yeah, I mean, this has got a lot of star power behind it. Just a lot of nods to like kind of like other movies. I feel like, and I think Robert Rodriguez did this like intentionally, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's basically if you want to make an Invasion of the Body Snatchers and do it in a style that, like, it was a big deal for the 50s, what can you make it a big deal for the 90s? And so you have this movie that has a fresh, hot cast in it, some great special effects, and a lot of, like, we talk about how great the cast is, and it feels really redundant to say it, but if you have not seen The Faculty, you really should because you compared it really good with what you said, but what I took away from it is yes, there is Breakfast Club, but sometimes you see a TV show and it's like, man, everybody is perfectly cast, and you're like, there's not one bad episode, like Criminal Minds, right? Great cast
Yeah,
throughout that show, but also like Friends, where you basically you just think that no one else could play that role after you see this person in those shoes.
yeah, and we can't forget the whole writer of the movie,
Kevin?
the whole reason that we're talking about this movie this month. It's Kevin Williamson, and
Yep.
he wrote Scream and Scream 2, and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Which is really funny because he wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer before all of his other movies blew up and it got passed on. But then once Scream blew up, then everybody started buying all his properties. And it was really cool that this one came to fruition because it landed in the hands of Robert Rodriguez. And you were able to pull so many talents into this movie. And, watching it like again last night, and I hadn't seen this in a few years, a lot of things did stand out to me. I'm like, oh wow, yeah, damn. I remember all these scenes, but I didn't notice the 90s CGI as much as I do today. But even that was just so passable to me because it was disguised with so much style and substance in the film.
Yeah, it does. I mean,
And I'm
Robert.
talking about Josh Hartnett's hair, of course.
Oh yeah, he's got the
My man took a
yeah.
hat off and just came to work. I swear to God.
He has the same haircut in Halloween H2O. It's funny. It's like,
I'm like, maybe his hair just grows that way.
I mean, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, my hair's kind of funky like this, but I always comb it down. But yeah, it's like he just woke up like, but it's fun. But it kind of fits with his name's Zeke. His character's name is Zeke.
Yep.
Such an interesting guy because he's like this really smart dude, but he like sells fake IDs and this like homemade trucker caffeine pill thing that he makes or whatever. And it's just funny. It's just a funny like. And I think it was done on purpose. He's like the smart guy, but he does this kind of like he's kind of edgy, and he sells stuff out of the trunk of his car and kind of like a slacker, but he's really smart, and
Sure.
it's just kind of funny. I don't know. But I feel like each character in this movie kind of was like a not a caricature, but kind of like you got the nerdy guy, you got
Hmm.
the
The
hot
athlete.
cheerleader, the athlete. You got the yeah, just like the Breakfast Club, like I said
You
earlier.
got
You
the
got
girl next door, basically the out of towner.
yeah, and you got the burnout guy, like the
Yep.
stoner guy. You got the yeah. So I mean, it has it
Quiet
all.
goth girl. The only thing we didn't
Yeah.
see Stokely do in this movie is eat a Captain Crunch sandwich.
Oh yeah. Does she do that in another movie?
I mean, it's a Breakfast Club reference, man.
Oh man, whew, right over my head. Sorry.
It happens.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie too.
Well, let's we've done good talking about the characters, but let's kind of throw down a synopsis of the movie, Andy. Do you want to go for it or do you want me to? Either way.
Yeah, I can. So basically, we got students at a small town Ohio high school. They discover that the teachers are being controlled by alien parasites. And so we have this mismatched group of teens. They must figure out who's infected and stop the queen alien before the invasion spreads.
A queen alien, and it's not even the Alien franchise.
Yeah, it's interesting that they kind of bring up this whole thing, that thing. It just kind of brings it into uh we can kind of see what this is influenced by. You got um Invasion of the Body Snatchers and The Thing, I think, too, a little bit. Like I said,
Absolutely, because this movie it's disguised. The thing that makes this movie so good is that It is a sci-fi alien movie, but it's disguised as a slasher movie because, like John Carpenter's The Thing, it's a whodunit. But what's cool is the
Hmm.
people who are infected by the alien parasites are killing essentially the other people, so you kind of get a slasher vibe out of it.
I didn't think about that way, but you're right, because it's like one person gets taken over at a time. You don't know who,
Right.
at certain points in the movie, you don't know who's been taken over and who hasn't. And so it's kind of surprising when they reveal, that they're actually an alien. So it's pretty cool. I like that aspect to it. But you got the Breakfast Club influence. And this is like post Scream. So you got that, they call it like self-awareness, kind of like the dialogue, they're talking about, just kind of teenager stuff. There's a lot of like witty dialogue and um
Yeah,
you
Kevin
get
Williamson's good at that, man.
yeah, yeah, just and you get these like high school politics and dynamics and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, like the slasher elements, yeah, I like the paranoia based horror like that we have here. That kind of it's a th callback to the thing. And then you have like the teachers as the threat, like authority is the threat in this, which I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, that's kind of a normal teenager kind of angsty kind of thing.
For sure. And this movie has like the utmost brilliance because as long as I've been alive, there's always been that, oh, my teacher's from another planet. And it's like, but this time they
Right.
really are. But if it
Yeah.
was, this is what it would be like. And so it almost takes something that's as silly as either a schlocky 1950s movie or something as simple as like like a kid's movie, but it amplifies it up. And I absolutely love the places that it goes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And so like and I love the high school setting, you kind of
Yes.
it's a setting that's like I don't know, like isolated or like they're some of these kids already feel like they're outsiders, but now they're even more outsiders because of this whole invasion going on. I like that.
Yeah, and it's brilliant because it causes them to come together where I think in any other circumstance they never would.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, these are kids that would on paper would not be friends at all. So
Right, and
uh,
so I like how the movie kind of starts out because you don't know who is going to be an alien, and the first person that we see infected is, of course, Coach Willis.
yeah, it's interesting because he's out on the football field and somebody walks up to him. We don't know who it is. It's kind of like the whole thing in the thing where the dog goes in the room with the person. All you see is the shadow of the person. You don't know who.
Yep,
So yeah, so we know that the coach is kind of the first one, and we don't know who, but then we don't know who infected him.
right.
And I thought that first, the opening of the movie was interesting. Like it really kind of plays up like a slasher movie because you have the teachers, they're having their little meeting, they all go to leave, and the principal, she's like, "Oh, well, forgot my keys or something like that." So she goes back into the school building, and of course, the gym teacher's there, and he tries to kind of like attack her.
Yeah, she thinks he's drunk and coming on to her.
Yeah, and he does kind of act like that, but I think he has ulterior motives. He wants to like infect her or whatever, I think. But I never understood like so yeah, so he chases around, she finally gets out of the school building, but then the other teacher stabs her
Right, and
and
that other teacher is Miss Olson, who was actually played by Piper Laurie, who is the mom
yeah.
in Carrie. Yeah,
Oh
which is
yeah.
great. So I love when they do that, man. You just got horror icons popping up left and right. Yeah, after this watch, I kind of noticed at one point, I don't think Miss Olson was infected yet, but whenever the coach could not get Principal Drake, they separated. I think he got to her,
Oh, okay.
Miss Olson. And then at that point, whenever she made her way back to Miss Olson to try to escape, that's when, oh, Miss Olson's been infected. And you get basically what, stabbed with scissors?
Yeah, I think she stabbed her with some scissors and like and I was trying to
It's
figure out
intense.
why did they stab her and not just like catch her and infect her? That's kind of a question I had. I was like, that didn't quite make sense. I mean, I know that they can heal because you can see the gym teacher's face where she scratches him, and he has the scratches
Yep.
at the beginning of the movie, but over time they heal up. So
Maybe
the
Miss Olson didn't feel she could physically like subdue her. And so they had to basically slow her down.
yeah. So I mean, then they do that, but but it's an effective uh kind of first kill, quote unquote, if you
Oh,
will.
sure.
So
And
um
then that's when we get all of our famous freeze frames where we get to meet all of our characters individually. And I love this too, because much like the teachers, it's like a before and after. You get to see all your main characters kind of their backstories, who they are, maybe who they're going to be. So that way, whenever they start acting strange, you start to notice right away, okay, something's wrong with them. I think they might be infected.
Oh yeah, I didn't really thought about that, but you're right. Yeah, and yeah, it's interesting because there's one person in our friend group that almost right away after the first day they look different, but you don't quite, you're not sure if you should suspect them or not. And I thought that was interesting with it. They made that choice.
You talking about Delilah?
Yeah, she
Yeah, because
started.
she's with Stan, who's the high school quarterback, and at this point, he's trying to give her a hug and kiss, and she's like, "Oh, my makeup's got to dry. My lipstick takes 45 minutes." She's that kind of person. She's a cover girl. She works for the school paper. She's only interested kind of in herself and her reputation. So much so that whenever Stan decides he wants to quit the football team, he tells her, and she's like, "Oh, well, then I can't be with you no more because I'm, head cheerleader, and head cheerleader only dates star quarterbacks."
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting little plot line to add in there that the football player wanted to quit the football team, and
He wanted to be smart, Andy.
and it's almost like he was going through his own like
Yep.
change, or whatever, like, but it wasn't, he wasn't changing into an alien. He was just changing on his own or whatever. I don't,
He reminded me a lot of Randall Pink Floyd from Dazed and Confused. Have you seen Dazed and Confused?
no. Oh, you know
Okay,
what? Yeah, I have, but it's like,
it's only one of the greatest movies ever made. I've seen that like four times more than I've seen The Faculty. But in that movie, the main character is the same way. He's a high school quarterback, but he gets tired of like being worshipped by everybody in the town and being given everything for free. He wants to earn it himself. And so I saw a lot of that in Stan's character.
okay, yeah, 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 it's interesting. So yeah, we get to meet all these different teenagers and kind of get to see kind of a day in the life of their what they have to go through each day and get a pretty good representation of that. Casey's getting bullied and
Oh my
um,
gosh, is he? Dude, it was. I've never seen that kind of bullying before, man. That was vicious. Getting
yeah,
racked on the telephone pole? No, thank you.
yeah, that was pretty crazy. And then Stokely, getting called names and all that stuff and
That wouldn't
um,
fly today.
no, but then we have is it Mary Beth, the new
Yep.
girl.
Mary Beth Louise Hutchinson,
Yeah, she comes in and she's all nice and she's trying to make friends and
and she is super country. Oh my gosh.
yeah. And then it's funny. So we get like this kind of like little montage where we see all these people and stuff doing their thing and it's pretty cool. I mean, you got to give it up to like the writing and stuff, how this movie flows. It flows pretty good.
Yeah. What did you think of Selma Hayek as the nurse?
Yeah, she was good. I mean, like they really downplayed her role, I feel like in this movie.
I
Like
think
she's
she
not
did it as she worked at Robert Rodriguez before, so maybe it was just a favor to
oh,
get in on it,
yeah, you're right, because she was in Desperado, so
from Dusk Till
oh, and
Dawn.
From Dust to Dawn, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that makes sense. So she just kind of played more or less of a cameo part in this.
She had
And
one of the most brilliant lines in the movie, Andy, when she's over there being sick, and they're like, "You should go home," and she's like, "I save my sick days for when I feel better."
oh yeah,
I was like, I can understand that.
yeah, yeah. So but yeah, I mean her role is pretty cool. I mean, it was cool to see her in it, and also like John Stewart. He's
Yes.
the science teacher, Mr. Furlong. I thought that was
Yep.
cool.
Did you
Um,
catch whenever Selma Hayek's character, she's sit there, she's coughing, she's like sick, and he's kind of like whispering to her? It seemed like there was a little something between them because he's like, "I called you this weekend" or something like that. Like he's kind of whispering to her, and
oh
at one
yeah,
point, it's almost like she rejects him or says something, and he literally says, "I'd rather take a pin to the eye." Well, I'm so glad he would because later he does. I was like,
yeah,
man, they set that up good.
yeah. A little foreshadowing there,
Yeah, I tripped over it.
but yeah. But yeah, so like, Casey is kind of like our little he's like a journalist or he works for the school newspaper
Yeah.
and well him and Delilah
Well,
both too.
he's a photographer.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. I knew that they were both involved in the newspaper somehow. She's a writer, he's a photographer, and he's just like walking, he finds this little tadpole looking thing on the football field, right? And so he takes it and he shows it to Mr. Furlong and
And he's like a science teacher.
yeah. And so he's really super interested in it because he's never seen anything like it and they accidentally spill some water on it, and that's when it kind of comes back to life. And
Yeah, he's like, I think you found a new species, Casey.
Yeah, so like they drop it in this aquarium full of water, and it like comes back to life and starts swimming around and stuff. And
And then
so
it
it's,
like replicates, like it spawns off an identical replicant of itself. So then you have two of them swimming around, and then they have those little hairline tentacles that come out. And he sticks his hand in there, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, it's mutated and changed shape. I gotta feel it." And when he goes to feel it, it reveals it now has teeth when it didn't have teeth before, and it bites his finger.
yeah, so we already get a preview of some of the creature effects coming up. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. And of course, they're talking their science mumbo jumbo, and Zeke, who's not paying attention, knows everything they're talking about. I loved it, man. Just playing off
Oh
the
yeah.
slacker who's brilliant.
Yeah, and like we have, so the kids kind of they overhear some stuff happening. It's like Casey and Delilah, right?
Hmm.
They kind of overhear some stuff in the teacher's lounge. They see the nurse get infected by the alien parasite, so they know something's going on. And but none of the adults will listen to him. Like Casey's parents thinks he's on drugs or something, and
Of course, man. And he
yeah.
he tells his parents come up to the school. The cop was actually Joel from Scream 2. I don't know if you caught that little
Oh, was
Scream
it?
2
Yeah, I missed
love.
that.
It
Yeah.
was so cool. And he's like, "Oh, there's oh, we didn't talk about the old teacher who they tried to
Oh, yeah.
turn because that happened before the scene with the closet. But long story short, there's a scene where Stan's taking a shower, and one of the teachers who we do see early in the movie, who's kind of old, kind of sickly, and she comes in the shower. And apparently, they try to turn her into one of them, but because she's old, her body couldn't handle like the heat and everything. And so, and she's complaining. She's like, "It's inside of me, help me!" And then she kind of lays her head onto Stan's chest. And when Stan tries to like caress her head, his hand sticks to her scalp and peels part of her head off. It's freaking nasty.
Yeah, just more of the special effects. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's got to be some K and B stuff in there, man. I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
But
so I think
that's the body they find inside the closet. And then, of course, the police don't find that body. They find a resuscitative dummy in the closet instead. And did you notice who Elijah Wood's dad was? It was Christopher McDonald, Shooter McGavin.
yeah, I thought that was funny. Yeah.
No more
Like
flogging the bishop.
yeah, but he plays a pretty straight role in this movie, not funny at all. I was trying to figure out who did the creature effects. I thought it might have been KMB, but I can't remember.
So that's when now we jump back to the scene where everybody is kind of gathered around the fish tank because did you catch like okay, Casey and Stokely are kind of first to share their theories, and Delilah comes in eventually, and then they're trying to bring everybody else in. But I was kind of shocked that Casey, Elijah Wood character, wasn't the like sci-fi geek. It was Stokely, which is super cool because she's kind of like ridiculed as being this lesbian who likes sci-fi, which I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. But they call her like a Star Trek person and everything. I'm like, I'm in. But yeah, she like does a lot of reading, and so she's like, this is like straight out of the novels, and she's telling Casey about it, and Casey's like, "So this is like Invasion of the Body Snatchers." She's like, "Actually, that was pulled from Puppet Masters," and it was cool
Yeah.
because you get a little sci-fi background love.
Hmm.
But because they had seen what they seen in the closet, Delilah sees it and believes it. Her parents are nowhere to be found, so she has nowhere to go. And so they all come together in the science classroom, and they're trying to tell Stan about it, but he doesn't want to believe it. He's laughing it off. He thinks it's a joke. Zeke comes in with Mary Beth, who they have a little something going on. It's real cute. Zeke's like, "Come on, the only person in this school who's an alien, Casey, is you." And but then that's when their teacher comes in, who's played by Jon Stewart, and we get our first alien confrontation and kind of gross out scene, right? Where they decide they're actually going to take on Jon Stewart. And my dude, this part was so cool because I remember from the trailer that scene where Josh Hartnett like puts his leg on the table and uses his strength to like rip off that arm on that paper thing. Like that, I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, you always see people taking the blades off those paper slicers and like trying to use it as a weapon. I
Were
don't know
you
how.
shocked that Zeke actually used it? Like he didn't know his teacher was human or alien, but he like swung at that teacher and cut his
That's true.
fingers off. Like damn, Zeke totally gives no care, man.
Yeah, so he slices his fingers off. Jon Stewart's fingers, Mr. Furlong's, and but then like the fingers fall off and they start like wiggling around on the ground and
Yeah,
get these
I
little
think
red.
a few of those scenes actually got to Julie because she's like, ugh.
Yeah, no, it's kind of unsettling seeing that like that, and then like the little tentacles that come out of where his fingers
Yeah,
were and stuff. Yeah, it's
kind
pretty.
of. Oh, what is it? I'm drawing H.P. Lovecraftish,
Oh yeah, for
a
sure. Yeah,
little
this
bit.
whole yeah, the creatures are very much like H.P. Lovecraft and the whole idea behind it, I think. And so yeah, I mean, and then that's when I think Zeke just kind of offhand he grabs one of those pins that has his
Yep.
caffeine pills in it. That's when he stabs him in the eye. Stabs
Yeah, because he had got thrown through the fish tank, bro. So he was like
yeah.
on the ground, like defending his life at this point. But again, somebody pushes you through a fish tank is not the same as stabbing somebody in the eye with a pin.
Yeah,
Like
but
Zeke
that
goes from 0 to 100 real quick.
yeah, he does. But I mean that shows kind of like
His character, right?
oh yeah, and it also just shows like a weakness to the aliens because after he stabs him,
Yes.
he starts like fizzing and
Yeah, like
uh
the white pus and things come out almost like salt or something, but it's basically it's drying them out from the inside
yeah,
out. Because one thing that we do discover is once they're like transformed into this alien host or whatnot, they have to like continuously drink and absorb water,
yeah, because they are like a water life form or
which makes sense why they would come to Earth, Andy. We're mostly water here. So after this scene, Zeke and all the other kids go back to his house because his parents are kind of like always out of town, so he gets the whole house to himself. But behind his house has this little like garage or something, and it's a place where you could tell he just kind of made his own house. But my dude, he lives in a damn laboratory.
yeah. If I had this kind of setup when I was a teenager, man, I'd probably be getting in trouble too.
You'd be making drugs made out of caffeine.
I don't know, but yeah, he had a pretty nice little setup there.
Yeah, and so when they had that scene with Jon Stewart's character, they managed to get a piece of the alien specimen. They brought it back to Zeke's garage, so to speak, and this is where Zeke shows us that he's really smart. He's kind of a scientist. He has obviously he makes all his homemade drugs and everything, so he has like the tubes and the chemicals and everything, but he also has what the hell is that thing called that you look in there? A
Microscope.
microscope, thank you. I wanted to say telescope, but I knew that was wrong. But he looks in the microscope, and he even takes it, and he has a pet rat, which I was like, oh, that's weird. But this scene was creepy, dude, because he put that little alien specimen in the cage with this rat, and it literally takes him over, and that's when we realized exactly what's happening and how.
Yeah, it was kind of a shocking, kind of a disturbing scene just because, it's his pet rat, pet mouse, whatever. And he
Name
even had a
Oscar.
name, Oscar. Yeah, he had a
Yep,
name for it. Um, so it wasn't just like some anonymous mouse. It
like a,
was
a
like,
lab rat. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I
Well,
mean, Zeke really had like the whole mad scientist get up here. But yeah, we got to see the parasite take over an animal, which I thought was interesting. And but then he immediately killed it. Uh,
right, save its torture or whatnot, or save it from being tortured. But if anything, it's this particular scene that I think pays the utmost tribute to the thing, and that's whenever
yeah,
they gather around and decide we all need to take the test to make sure we're not aliens.
exactly the scat test.
You ever take a scat test, Andy?
No. When we say scat, that's what Zeke calls his drug that he sells, scat.
Right. That is stored in ballpoint pens. It's kind of genius and also kind of dangerous. Don't do it. But
Yeah.
this scene is crazy, man, because he has a handful of pens and he hands one by one. It's not like he gives everybody a pen and says, "Okay, 1, 2, 3, go." We're gonna go one by one because Zeke also has a gun and we're ready to shoot whoever turns out to be an alien because we know the aliens can't handle what this drug is. It drives them out. They'll freak out. And so if you haven't understood, you take this drug by unscrewing the top of the pin and you snort it up your nose. And so one by one, we get to have Casey do it. We get to have, Stan do it, Zeke do it. and it becomes time to Stokely does it, and then it's Mary Beth and Delilah are the last two. And then early on, this was kind of interesting. Mary Beth, she had told us that she's allergic. She can't even take aspirin. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's awfully convenient. I'd forgotten about that. But of course,
Right.
Delilah, she's like, oh, I'll take it, but she takes it first. And so then you could see, oh, there's a little like trust issues within the group.
Oh yeah, I mean you got that paranoia because they weren't really friends to begin with, and then you throw in the mix like one of them could be an alien, and so they don't trust each other.
At this point, did you think would be an alien? Because, I mean, there was nothing to make us suspect there was or wasn't. Like, we had our doubts, but nothing like was a red flag right away that's like somebody has to be an alien. And they played it so good that you're like, oh, maybe no one is. But Andy, between these two, one definitely is.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, yeah, and it's not who I mean, well, I don't know who I thought it was gonna be, but yeah, like I forget, like Delilah, she goes to sniff it and she doesn't, like, or she does, and it like,
She does, and immediate reaction.
yeah, she got all the little worms,
Oh,
whatever, start crawling through around her face
yes.
and stuff like that, and so they find out who the alien is, and so then she starts fighting back, and
What's the first thing she does? Destroy all of Zeke's drugs that could kill the aliens. I was like,
yeah,
wow, that was brilliant.
yep, she just destroys his little lab setup, and yeah, that's a very calculated move there, and then she
Yeah,
like
that
jumps off.
basically means whatever we have is whatever we have to fight back. He ain't gonna be able to make no more. And did you
Yeah.
notice, like, early in the scene when they got to Zeke's house, like a few seconds later, a car pulled up? So this was a
Yeah.
planned move because when Delilah made her escape, she already had her getaway driver.
I wonder if they could like talk like telepathically or something.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
So she knows that the person's outside. I don't know.
Let's try it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a cool scene. Like you said, it definitely paid homage to the thing. And we, kind of get a little surprise there where one of them's actually an alien. And yeah, it's a cool scene. It's definitely one of like the big scenes of the movie, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of the turning point because even though all of them had to fight against the teacher, once you realize that, like, one of your, I mean, for the sake of this movie, I'll say close friends because they were a tight knit group at this point, turned out to be an alien, the trust factors go out the window, and they're like, we got to tell everybody. And Stokely has said, look, if we kill like the main queen alien, everybody else will go back to normal. And so they get in the car, which, what did you think of Zeke's car, my dude?
It
Badass,
was
black
cool,
and
yeah.
red. I think it was a Chevelle or something, but it was totally awesome. I'm like, of course he has that car. But Andy, this is a small football town, and it's Friday night. Where's everybody at?
They're at the football game.
Of course we're at the football game. And you know what? Here's a little varsity blues for you too, man.
Oh yeah, Friday Night Lights.
Yep. And, Stan used to be the high school quarterback and he was like the team captain. He stepped down. And so Gabe, who's played by Usher Raymond, becomes the team captain. And my dude, this scene was amazing because Robert Patrick is chewing the scenery as the coach and everybody is, I don't know what this like being infected does, but it made them like super football players. They were destroying the other team, at least on the defense.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they were infecting the other team members too.
Dude, that was so like itty, man, because like
Yeah.
you have like the dog pile like where everybody dives on the one guy, but then when the referee's like getting all the players pulled off, you see at the end the one person's like putting the little slug insect into the other
Yeah.
person's ear or mouth or whatever, and they were like, it took over the high school in like a day and a half. How long before it takes over the whole town?
Right, yeah, you can see how this could spread pretty quick, and I think one of the kids they talk about why would they invade a small town in Ohio? And Casey's like, well, they're not gonna park in front on the White House lawn. They're not gonna go in the front door. They're gonna go in the back door if they want this to be like a secret invasion where they kind of slowly take over everything. They're gonna like start in a little small town somewhere.
Yep. And I mean, they eventually get Principal Drake into the gymnasium or whatnot. They kind of lure her in there, and they've decided, she's the principal. She's got to be the queen. That makes the utmost sense. She's been around this whole time. And at this point, we still have no idea who it could be. So it very well could be
Yeah.
Principal Drake. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And this scene was pretty interesting because they're like, they close her in the gym and they're like, take this drug. She's like, no. And then they're like, take this drug or I'm going to shoot you. And she's like, you're crazy. And then at some point, dude, Zeke just takes the gun and shoots her in the head. Just zero to
Yeah.
100 again. I'm like, son of a bitch, calm down, Zeke.
Yeah, once again he shows that he feels like maybe the odds are in his favor, so he's that she is an alien, so he's just gonna take that chance.
That man's acting like he's on the clock and time is money. I swear to God, dude. But then when she falls down, you notice that she starts to bleed out. And then for like, what, 30 seconds, we're like, oh shit, maybe she wasn't the queen. Did we just murder our principal?
But then you know that she got killed at the beginning or got stabbed or whatever. So I was like, yeah, she probably is something's wrong with her, you know.
Sure, you're right, you're right. And so she, of course, after getting shot in the forehead, gets back up and shows them that she is an alien, but they killed her, essentially. Did that fix everything? We don't know. Everybody's outside. So Stan decides, you stay here, everybody. I'll go outside. And this was a cool point because right when he goes outside to go check on the football team and to see if everybody's back to normal, that's whenever Stokely makes a move and she kisses him.
Yeah. Yeah, because we get this little kind of back and forth between Stan and Stokely. We know there's like some kind of chemistry going on there, but they're like polar opposites of the teenage coolness spectrum, whatever, or the popularity spectrum. They're kind of at opposite ends.
Opposite attracts, man.
Yeah, a football player and then the goth girl. But yeah, they have a little moment here. It's kind of nice. Seems like they're kind of hitting it off there. And then he goes to one thing I want to back up to real quick is so the principal was coming back to life or whatever, and like they're like, oh crap, she is an alien. So I think Mary Beth just they have like a bag of scat, and she just
Yes.
dumps the whole bag on the principal.
Yeah, and
And you're like, okay, I guess I did the job, but now all they have left is the little pins.
I'm surprised Zeke didn't shoot her in that moment. He was pissed about that.
Yeah. And as the movie, once you know what's going on, this scene kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
so right, we're down to just a couple of pins at this point, and of course Stan, he's like, I need one. So when he goes outside, and so Zeke gives him one of the pins and is like, be careful. And then, dude, when Stan goes outside, this was one of the coolest scenes too because it's raining, and the coach and the whole football team are standing in the rain, and you see all their tentacles coming out of their face.
Oh yeah, it was really cool because like he wasn't because after they killed the principal, like, well, did it work? We don't know. And then people started leaving the football game. So like, well, maybe it worked. Maybe they're all back to
Sure.
normal. And so Stan ran out there, and the football team just staying out on the field in the rain. You're like, this doesn't look good. But even when he gets closer, yeah, you can see like their faces are all like monster faces, and they got the little tentacles
Yeah.
coming out of their faces. Like, yeah, no. But then like we don't really see what happens to Stan, and then all of a sudden he comes back to the door, trying to let her, for them to let him in, and they're like, well, you have to take the drug, and so I think that's when they slide one under the door, and he takes it, but then he,
Yeah, because they gave him one, and he's like, "Oh, I lost it when the coach was chasing me. He was too
okay,
fast." And so then Casey and Zeke are like, "Well, this is one of our last ones. What do you think?" And they're like, "Well, let's just give it to him." And they do slide it under the door, and we think Stan's going to take it.
yeah, he holds up to his nose, but then he slowly just dumps it
Oh,
out.
boy, he makes eye
Mm.
contact with Stokely.
Oh
And
yeah,
he's just like, "Let me in, Stokely." And he tries to say, "Come on, you should be one of us. There's no more
Mm.
pain, and you'll be beautiful."
Yeah,
And dude, he was like, "I want you." I was just like, "Calm the fuck down, Stan."
yeah, that was kind of a heartbreaking scene there, with him too,
It
just
totally was,
so. But yeah, so Stan is now back on the football team.
so to speak. Yeah. And I'd say yeah, we're definitely entering the third act of the film, Andy. We get some pretty cool chase sequences.
Yeah, because they're talking about, okay, what do we do now? They're out. They basically just have like a. They don't. I don't think they have any scat left, or maybe they have like one
They
left or
do,
something.
but it's in Zeke's car.
Yeah, so that's where Zeke's like, I think I still have some in my car, and so he gets
Zeke
the
and
idea.
Casey.
Yeah, they want to split up. So like, so I think who's left? We got Zeke and Casey and
Zeke
Mary
and
Beth,
Casey, Mary Beth and Stokely.
Stokely. Yeah, and so the guys
It's the
leave.
guys and the girls.
Yeah, so they told the girls to stay in the gymnasium, and the guys are gonna go split up. Zeke's gonna go to his car, and Casey's gonna be like the distraction, right?
Yeah, but he didn't know that till the last minute.
Oh
He's
yeah.
like, "Does it really take two of us to go to your car?" And he's like, "No, but one of us needs to be the decoy." And you're like, "Oh shit!" But it makes sense because in this movie, we've heard on multiple occasions that Casey, Elijah Wood's character, is a fast runner.
Oh, I totally missed that. So that's good catch.
I'm telling you, when you see it 20 times, it all makes sense.
But but yeah, so Casey gets the football team's attention and they start chasing him around and there's like this scene where Casey gets on a school bus. I don't know what he thinks he's going to
Yes.
do on there,
Well, he's hiding from everybody, but
but
one
they
person
know.
knows he's there.
Yeah, Delilah comes on and
Delilah.
she starts kind of talking to him like, "Hey, come on, come to the dark side," and
Oh yeah, she's trying to seduce her way into this man's life.
yeah, but then all the football team's on the outside and they're all trying to get into and
It's cool,
yeah.
man. Elijah Wood just escapes through the sunroof,
Yeah,
basically, in the bus.
the little roof hatch of the school bus has, yeah.
Yeah, cool camera angle on that scene too. A lot of good stunts in this movie, but
Oh yeah.
that leaves Zeke alone to get the scat out of his car. But he's not alone because he gets approached by the teacher who you said Famke Jensen, who she
Yeah.
is another character that did a kind of a aesthetic change, right? She went from like the nerdy librarian to Batgirl all in one switch.
Yeah, Miss Burke. She was like, yeah, the nerdy English teacher, and now she's like all done up and yeah, so she confronts Zeke while he's looking through his car and he's like, "Oh, and he's like, do you need some?" He's like, "Sorry, I don't what was it? I think earlier
It's
in
the
the movie.
laxatives. Yeah, because
Oh,
he
yeah.
tried to offer her chocolate laxatives, and she's like, "You're rude." And so this time around, he's just like, "Can I interest you in some chocolate?" She goes like, "I'd rather have something cherry flavored." And I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, because he was like trying to give her those cherry flavored condoms or whatever
Well,
earlier.
of course they're ribbed for her pleasure.
So, and now she's like all confident. She's like, she's kind of trying to get on his good side or whatever. Um, and so
Did you notice there was no scat in the trunk?
that's
But
right.
when he
Yeah.
started walking around to the driver's side, he saw that he had some pins like in the floorboard.
Yeah. So he like jumps in the car, right? And then she like kind of
Also,
she kind of dives in through the passenger seat, right? And
uh-huh.
trying to
And
get
she
at
kind
him.
of like snake tongues a little bit.
Oh, yeah. And so he starts driving off and then they crash. And,
Yeah, he puts his seatbelt on and he just crashes right into a school bus and yeets her out the damn windshield. Pretty awesome. And then, oh, Andy, you know what? Another Thing reference because her head's
oh, yeah.
decapitated.
Yeah, this was another cool scene that I remember. Like, yeah, her head gets cut off from the rest of her body, but then these like tentacles come out of the neck and starts crawling around on the ground, and she's like looking at him as she's crawling around. That was,
Zeke's like, "Fuck this."
yeah,
I mean, if it was any better, he could have said, "You got to be fucking kidding me."
oh, that would have been really cool.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, we could write a movie, me and you. But that's what's going on outside. Well, if you go back to the gym where Mary Beth and Stokely are, that's whenever we get the big reveal of the movie because Mary Beth she's talking to Stokely, and they're on like on separate bleachers. They're not looking at each other. But Mary Beth's like, so how does like Invasion of the Body Snatchers end? And Stokely's like, oh well, we lose, they win, and everything. And then Mary Beth's like, don't you ever get tired of just being something you're not? And then you're like, huh?
Yeah. And she's like, I know I am tired. I am or something. And
Yeah,
Stokely's
and
like looking
Stokely,
back at her like, what? And then
yeah,
Mary Beth just like clocks her and like hits her, kind of knocks her out.
yep,
But then the camera zooms back and she's got this big tentacle for an arm. You're like, whoa, okay.
yes. Did you at any point suspect her?
I'm trying to think if I did when I first saw the movie. I don't know.
It's so obvious because
Yeah.
they're like, this didn't start till you showed up. And so it's clear as day at
Yeah.
that point. And when you can watch it knowing and it's clear as day as well. But the movie does so good spending time making you think it's every other person.
Yeah, she definitely kind of looks like she could be a red herring at first, but yep, she is the queen and we
You
get
know
a
what I
pretty
learned?
yeah, what's up?
I learned that queen aliens don't like to wear clothes.
That's true.
This scene was like, what is happening? Because, yeah, she gets one tentacle arm, two tentacle arms, and then she turns into a giant. I don't even know what we could call it, but it was giving me again 1950s sci-fi giant alien monster vibes, and not Alien like the franchise, but like the monster that challenged the world type stuff.
Yeah, it's just some kind of like weird aquatic tentacle,
Almost like a
creature.
yeah, yeah. It almost gave me vibes of like a caterpillar standing up. It was weird, but
Yeah, it's kind of
my God,
worm-like.
it
Yeah,
could swim fast.
yeah, because so like Casey comes back in, and so it's Casey and Stokely, and they see this, going on. They see her transform Hulk out basically, and so they're running away. But and they go into the pool, and then that's when Mary Beth like she dives into the pool and she's swimming, and she's a good swimmer, of course, because that's. But then she transforms back into her human form, but she has those shadowy tentacles still behind her. I think
That
that's
was
pretty
so
cool.
cool. Yeah, but she does get a hold of Stokely and pulls Stokely down. Stokely like
Oh, that's
hits the
right.
pavement and pulls her underwater.
Yeah.
And Stokely's okay as far as we know, but at one point she did get captured. But yeah, man, whenever she goes back to her Mary Beth form, she's full on naked walking around, and it was very much like oh shit, what's that movie we like? Life Force.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And this is where we gonna kind of get an exposition dump where she talks about her home planet and how it's all oceans and stuff like that,
Which
and
means
why,
I'd hate it.
yeah, and kind of like why she came to our planet and stuff.
Yeah, her planet's dying. And so again, we have mostly water. Why not?
And is this when Zeke comes in?
Yes.
He
Yeah,
comes in
Z
and yeah,
yeah.
and he sees her naked. He's like, "What?"
Yeah, he sees her and he's like, "Mary Beth, answer me one question. Why are you naked?" And then she looks down and she's like, "Don't you like my body, Zeke?" And I'm immediately like, "Stab her with a pin."
Yeah, and I think he goes to like attack her, but then like
Yeah, and
Stokely is behind him and she grabs his arm, and that's when we discover that Stokely's been infected too.
yeah, and Stokely, like, Zeke gets like launched over those lockers, dude, like all the way across the locker room. And when he hits the ground, he's kind of knocked out. And
Yeah.
Stokely's character grabs Elijah Wood's character like against the fence. It's holding him by the hair, and Elijah Wood's character Casey like rips away and still has the hair left in her hand. I was like,
Oh
damn,
man, that's
Casey.
gotta hurt. Yeah.
It does. Those implants were expensive. But yeah, man, I mean, this all leads up to the moment where it's funny because I forgot how she worded it, but Mary Beth, who's still in human form's like, "Don't you like this?" And Casey is like, "I'd rather be afraid." And she's like, "Fuck it, fine." And then she switches back to her alien form. I cracked out pretty hard at that point.
Yeah, no, it was great. She's like, fine, like, and she's like, your books are right. We do win and all this stuff. She was just like, just cause dropping all the nice guy stuff. And she's like, we're just gonna take over.
Yep.
And so she continues to chase Casey, and he goes into this like auditorium what has like those bleachers, those automatic bleachers that go in and out, whatever.
Yep.
And so they're out currently. So he hits the button, but then goes into like underneath the bleachers, and they start kind of retracting, going back in
Again,
towards the
he's
wall.
fast. That's the only way that works.
Oh, that's true. That's true. And so then because the creature starts following him under the bleachers and chasing him, and but then the bleachers close in on the creature. He's outside on the other end, and the creature's kind of pinned in the bleachers, but like he's like, does it grab him? I can't remember now what happens.
No, the alien's like pinned in and is like screaming at him, and he actually stabs the alien with a pin, but at the same time, it like once it stabs him, it parts of the alien like disperse and go into his face.
Yeah, all the little worms go. So there's like a
Yeah,
bunch of
and
little
it
worms
it
trying
looked
to.
incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
possibly the best effects in the movie, in my opinion, was seeing Elijah Wood's face and his skin getting pierced by the slugs
Oh yeah, it was a really cool
because he's
one.
like screaming and they're like
Yeah.
moving around. Ew.
Yeah, but the drug does take effect, and it dries out the big alien,
Yep.
and all the little
And
worms fall out of his face.
I get it, like he's exhausted and everything, but man, at this point, as he's killed the alien and he kind of like sinks down to the floor, I remember thinking, like, I don't know, man. Like, I know you're tired, but you should still get the fuck out of the gym right now because you never know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like that could be like another. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, I
Yeah,
guess just killing the queen kills all the rest of them.
it works, and
Yeah.
everybody else who was infected kind of goes back to normal, and I'm assuming has no memory of things. And we get a nice wrap up. We kind of get to see what happens to all of our characters now. Who's in a relationship with who, and I I remember not thinking about much too like. Not thinking about this scene too much back when I had first seen it in the first like 19 times, but watching it again, I was kind of shocked. I'm like, wait, Zeke plays football now? Okay.
Yeah, while he's smoking a cigarette. That's
Yeah.
funny.
You put that out, get in there.
Yeah, no, it was good. And the coach was back to his normal self.
Yep, very Varsity Blues coach. Usher Raymond's playing. Stan's still not playing, but this was a cute scene because Stokely goes up to him and she's like, "Do you miss it? Do you regret it?" And he's like, "Not one bit." Then they kiss and have a moment, and it felt
Yep.
very authentic. I liked it. To be honest, and I'm not making a social statement or anything, I'm just saying the one thing I've never bought though was the chemistry between Casey and Delilah. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, because now they're an item now. It's like
Right,
what?
and I get it. The geek gets the girl, and typically that works. I'm like, Elijah Wood? I don't know, bro.
Yeah, and now there's another kid that's getting his groin smashed into the flagpole.
Yeah, and that's because Casey, Elijah Wood's character, is now referred to as a hero, and it seems like the town is like consecutively like interviewing him and wanting to know. And I think the scenes we're talking about, it's like a 1 month later, and it's just like, yep, they're still talking about it.
Yeah, and they did say some of the teachers went missing. So I wonder. So obviously the principal because they killed her. Probably the older lady that died from trying to be infected. Um, I don't know. I'm trying to think of who other teachers just wouldn't turn back to normal.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see what happened to Miss Burke, so who knows? I mean, maybe that
Oh
was
yeah,
leaving it
because
open for a faculty part two. I don't know.
oh yeah, which
That would have been nice.
that would have been kind of cool. But yeah, we never did see anything like that.
Hey, man, it's 2026. The rage is making sequels 20 years later. Let's do it.
Yeah, really.
But
So
yeah, and then the movie wraps up with nice title music, and we kind of have our happy ending. But what a fun '90s movie, man! It's so cool to do some sci-fi horror on here, especially from the '90s, because it has such a unique style. But this is a movie that I'll easily watch 20 more times.
yeah, like I said, this is one of the best teen like sci-fi horror movies from the 90s, and it kind of gives us that kind of the young cast, the young teen cast, and it kind of like I don't know. I mean, this is kind of a trope in the late 90s anyway, but um
But it's a
yeah,
trope we loved.
yeah, and I think this movie's kind of gained a little bit of a cult following, I'm sure, just because of the creature effects and just the director and the people in it and stuff like that.
So awesome, man. I mean, The Faculty, that's another one down that we got to review. And this is the last movie for February. We kind of got to plug a whole bunch in because, as everybody knows, Scream 7 is upon us. And so when we come back, we might give a spoiler-free review on that. But if nothing else, Andy and I are working in the back burner to see what March is going to bring.
Yeah, I mean, we got some fun stuff coming up, I think, and I think it'll be a good time.
Yeah, we'll bring back some more guests.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that does it for us, man. I'm Phantom Dark Dave.
And I'm Abnormal Andy.
And thank you for listening to the Scream and Skull podcast.
See ya.